This is simply your world, then and now.
Hello YouTube, and welcome back to my channel where we discuss past and present events that will affect you if they haven't already. This next video that I want to bring to you is from the BBC News channel. Like I said, I watch them a lot because they have a lot of information that we don't normally see here over in America. And that's the reason why I'm going to bring this next story to you. This next story is definitely about immorality, being unethical, and being unnatural. I want you to watch this clip, a 3-minute clip. I'm going to come back on my analysis.
Serious ethical issues are being raised after it emerged that US and Chinese scientists have implanted human cells into monkey embryos. The aim of the research is to understand more about how cells develop and to help research in cultivating organs for transplant. The scientists injected human stem cells, cells that have the ability to develop into many different body tissues, into macaque embryos. The developing embryos were studied for up to 20 days. Other so-called mixed species embryos or chimeras have been produced in the past, with human cells implanted into sheep and pig embryos.
And for those who don't know, a chimera is a mix between two different organisms to create a unnatural organism. So some may be privy to the information, some may not be. So yeah, I just want to say that before the video kept going.
This scientific group was led by Professor Juan Belmonte of the Salk Institute in the US. He says the work could address the shortage in transplantable organs and help us understand more about early human development, the way disease progresses, and aging. Catherine DeVold is a senior research fellow at the Oxford Wahiro Centre for Practical Ethics. I asked her if we should see the embryos as human at all.
That's a good question. It's a difficult question. So I think when we create an organism that is a mix between a human and a monkey, we're really not sure at all what sort of organism we have created. I mean, is it a human? Is it a monkey? Is it something in between? And that raises ethical issues because we don't know how we should treat these creatures ethically. Can we simply use them in scientific experiments? Can we destroy them in experiments when we really don't know what sort of organism they are?
I just have to pop in real quick on that last comment. That's exactly my point. What is the point of making or mixing two different organisms when you don't have a clue on what you're about to come up with? Not only that, what about the mixing of the viruses, crossing paths, crossing lines? There's some diseases that animals get that we don't get, and vice versa. So what happens when we decide to cross that line and have a monkey flu and a human flu mixed together? Then what we get? Complete chaos. There is no vaccines for something like that. Then they want to go so far as to say in the last little slide they had about human organ development and disease progression and aging. What does any of that have to do with putting a human embryo in a monkey? We know how cells divide and multiply. You know, we know how organs develop. We know that's all God's realm. Now these people are literally trying to play God. You know, I'm not going to talk too much on it, but I'm going to come back more. I could say so much more, but I want you to continue to hear what she says, and then I got more analysis.
You see a line between scientific research up to a number of days, say 20 days, and beyond?
Yes, so I think there is an important distinction here. So I think the problem I raised about us not being sure what sort of organism we create, how we should treat it, is not so much of a problem for the research we're discussing here, because in that research, as you mentioned, the human monkey chimeras were destroyed when they were 19-day-old embryos. So that is before.
She said that they destroyed these embryo or these chimeras when they were 19 or 20 days old. My only question is, if me and you, or any of my viewers, if any of you or anybody else would decide to embark on a project for 30 years, 40 years, because you know this didn't just start, and they finally successfully implanted a human embryo inside of a monkey and got it to grow, what is the odds of them destroying it? You know, Nikola Tesla, I think his name is Nikola Tesla, or any great scientist you think of. All the great inventions we have, some things that were bust, some things that really worked. But what's the odds of anybody working on something for so long and they finally get it to grow and they destroy it? Everybody, well, at least the people in my little circle, understands that a lot of these things never go away. They just go underground. You know, and next thing you know, we'll see a Bigfoot somewhere 20 years from now. They might have one locked up in Area 51, all the different things like that. So I just don't understand why they would go so far as to do something like this when there is no point other than destruction and annihilation. So I'm going to finish video play, and we'll come back and talk a little bit more.
For the development of a nervous system before there are any mental capacities. So I think not so many ethical issues there, but of course this sort of research opens the door to research where with chimeras that are allowed to develop further. And then we may create human animal chimeras with perhaps human neurons in their brains. And that raises a lot of ethical issues, because what looks like an animal may well have mental capacity similar to that of a human being. And in that case, of course, we simply can't use these chimeras in scientific research. We can't just simply destroy them or use them to extract organs for transplantations into humans.
These people have lost their minds.
Now, the last thing she said is kind of crazy, because even though the science and the project behind it is immoral and unethical and unnatural, she says if it is more human than, or half human, or have human neurons or human feelings, things like that, all of a sudden they can't test it. They can't destroy it. So what happens if it comes out as more human than monkey? You know what I mean? And then they decide to allow this thing to live. Just like any other virus, just like any other thing we've seen get out of the constraints of its lab or its origins, it causes havoc all over the world. You know what I mean? So I really wish that this thing wouldn't happen. I really wish that this information that I'm sharing does get out there, at least to have some type of awareness of the things that we will see. And that's definitely the purpose of this channel. I'm going to talk about another technology they have called CRISPR, CRISPR, and that will be definitely my next video. And it ties directly into a video like this, and shows how they are achieving this type of thing on a molecular level. If you like this video, please like and share, and always remember, this is simply your world, then and now. You have a good day.